speaking about great, and I think the day so far was great. I mean, great content, great product announcements, great speeches. You know, how could we top it? Well, I think if someone really deserves the word great, then it is maybe one of the, or the greatest athlete of all times. And, you know, let me introduce and welcome on stage a very great swimmer.
Yes.
Well, Guido, I learned that you have been a swimmer yourself, right?
Yes, I have been. I've started when I was 5. My mother trained me, threw me in a pool, and coached me until I was about like 22. I earned 57 medals on the nationals. 15 of which were gold. So that's nice.
Oh, this is
yeah.
Congratulations.
And although there's no Guido Jansen Foundation.
Yet, right?
Who knows?
Are you already 37, like Michael?
Maybe.
No? Okay, so you have to set it up soon. Well, I think you have been looking forward to this day as much as I have been, right?
Really cool.
Yeah. So, and you did something very cool. You posted some open Q&A on LinkedIn and Twitter, and thank you to everyone who participated and sent us some nice questions. So we will try to do our best in spending an hour with the greatest athlete of all times. Welcome, Michael Phelps. You go left. Oh my! Oh, you don't look like a swimmer.
I'm not a swimmer.
No, not.
I'm not a swimmer, but I wanted also to welcome Michael Phelps because I had a feeling about something that's about to happen right now. Ladies and gentlemen, with your big, massive round of applause, please welcome Michael Phelps.
He's wearing a suit.
Hello.
The one's out here.
3 introductions.
The real Michael Phelps.
How are you?
Is out
No,
here.
I had to try the real Michael. I had to try something really weird with you because only you can do it. It's already solved. It's very simple. We did a test with. Can you mix it for me? Yeah, just mix it. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you do. It's very easy to mix a Rubik's cube. Good. A little bit more.
Why are you looking?
Yeah, okay. I can. I've seen this trick before, so it's okay. Mix it up. Mix it up. Mix it up. Anytime you want, just stop.
I mean, I want to make it hard.
You will. You will. It's going to be hard. Here, this is good. Oh, one more turn for me. Yeah. One more turn. Perfect. You think you did a good job?
I don't know. We'll see.
I tell you why.
If
you look. Oh my God.
I'm just going to keep sneaking them.
Oh my God. Okay. Take your time. I get paid by the hour as well. It's okay. No, but this is good because you realize what you've done. You don't know what you've done.
I mixed the Rubik's Cube.
Look at the camera.
Together.
No, because you mixed one. And look at the screen, everyone. Look at the screen. Okay, you see what you've done? You've matched them. See this side as well. You see, and you can see here this side as well. Also, this one and this one also. You matched this one and this side also. You matched and this one also. It's very strange, Michael. Very strange. Usually, it is a big round of applause at this point. But wait. Before. But now you're gonna help me in this because if I take this is your cube, you mix it up. If you mix it up like this, and I give it to you behind the back, okay? Do you think you can do simple just like this, like I do like this? Just like this, that's it, no more. Can you do this?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's completely mixed.
I don't know how
you did it, you mixed it, take it behind the back with 2 hands, please, and start to turn it slowly. Slowly, very good, very good. You have no idea what you're doing. No idea?
I don't think so.
Let's imagine we are swimming. Stop anytime you want.
Okay.
That's it?
Sure.
One last turn. Oh, nice one. Show everybody what you've done behind the back, you see?
I just figured it out. You guys can't do that?
It's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Phelps, thank you so much. Thank you very much. My friends, the stage is yours.
Hey, Mike. Good to have you.
Here?
So obviously, Michael has not only swimming talents, but also solving Rubik's Cube talents as
I didn't
well.
know I had that either.
Yeah, we discovered that. Our pleasure. This is what happens at the Excite conference.
I love it.
Discover new skills. So, Michael, thanks for being here with us, and very looking forward, to the next hour. And we want to start very simple. So, it's a very first simple question. We want to start chronologically, going from the early beginnings. So, how did you get into swimming, and was there ever a backup plan?
There was no backup plan. I'll start there. And I got in the water. I got in the water strictly for water safety. I have 2 older sisters, and my mom put us in the water just so we were safe. That was all. Literally. My middle sister was first in the nation, 3rd in the world at 12, 13. And then ended up having bulging and herniated disc in her neck and her back, and that put her out of the sport. But yeah, for me, this was, I think once I got my first taste of the high level, so you will, at the Olympics in 2000, not competing and swimming as I wanted to. I wanted to come home with at least a medal, not just a piece of paper telling me that I competed. It's not what I was there for. So that honestly was a big piece of motivation for me leading into the next 4 years, getting ready for 2004.
And how did you prep for that? Was it and do you still recall that? I mean, is it just like, is it a big blur now, or is it still a vivid memory?
I mean, for me, it's like yesterday, right? Like for me, when I came off the 2000 Olympics, got 5th. Literally the day afterwards, Bob said, we're going to start training again. Bob was my coach for 20 plus years. We jumped into the water and did a practice that day, but on the top of the practice that day, he wrote WR. For those of you who don't know what that is, world record. Yeah. So he was already saying 6 months, I'm going to break my first world record. So as a 15-year-old kid, that was our goal, and then things just started going. 1 world record turns into multiple world records, multiple races, multiple events. And then we were just off to the races.
Yeah.
And I mean, you just mentioned it. You came back from your first Olympics in Sydney, and actually without a medal, right? And so what did it do to you back then? Was it disappointing? Was this what created the motivation for you going forward?
Yeah.
Or was it rather motivational that you came back and said, okay, now I really, I have 4 years and I will make it in 4 years?
Me not getting the results I wanted was all the motivation I needed. Because for me, when I set out onto any of the missions that I was doing in the pool, it all started with a goal time. How can I get to that goal time? That goal time is pretty much a world record, right? So dream, plan, reach. If I can get to that world record time, there's nobody else that's thinking like that. So I'll be able to get myself in a good spot. For me, I've always remembered my biggest disappointments over my biggest victories. Because the disappointments or the feelings and the emotions, whatever you want to say, are always with me because I never want that feeling to happen again. So it's all on me to do the work that I need to do in order to give me the chance to not have those feelings again. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think that was just one thing for me. I think that I love the most. Typically I was prepared. There was a 6-year stretch where we didn't miss a single day of training, 365 days a year, every single day, 6 years straight. So the feel of the water that I had was something that you couldn't teach. So yeah, it was kind of fun just climbing that little mountain.
Continuing on that one, doing that for 6 years straight. I mean, clearly the result was there.
Yeah.
But you also spoke about the downsides of that. Do you think that contributed to that, like not having any day off in 6 years, contributing to mental health issues?
I mean, well, I don't think it made anything worse. Like I don't think going 6 years straight made my mental health any worse. I'm somebody who's going to beat myself up if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing in my head. So during that time, no. Like it was just more motivation, right? Like I just wanted to have little baby steps, keep the ball rolling, right? I always just wanted to keep moving forward. Like you heard me say, it takes 4 years to get ready for an Olympic Games, right? Mentally and physically. You have to prepare for any which way you can possibly think, literally. I mean, my coach was stepping on my goggles to, ripping a cap to this or that, just so I was calm and relaxed if a moment like that ever happened at a swim meet, and it did. I dove in for the 200 fly in 2008, and my goggles instantly filled up with water. I swam the whole entire race blind.
And you won.
Won and broke the world record. So, but the reason for that was that, those 6 years straight, right? It's the preparation. Without the preparation, I have no chance. That's why I got beat in 2012, because I wasn't prepared. And I know that. I took 2 years off from leading into 2012, from 8 to 12. So for me, it was, how can I do every little small thing right in practice, right? If I'm going to practice for 2 to 5 hours a day, how can I be as efficient as I can in every single stroke that I take? Right? Whether, I got dumped, I just got in a car crash, whatever the hell, whatever it is, right? I check everything out the door, and when I walk through the doors of that pool, I'm there to do one thing, get one step closer to where I'm trying to go in 4 years.
So after Sydney, you had these 4 years, right?
Yeah.
So what happened in 2004? So when you finally, so how many medals did you take home?
I won 8. I don't know the split. I lose track of the silver and the bronze ones. I don't like to talk about those. 23 is the only number that I love. But for me, from 2000 to 2004, it was kind of an opportunity for us to try the event program that we were eventually going to try in 2008. Right? We started that program in 2002, trying to swim the 200 IM, 400 IM, 200 free, 100, 200 fly, and 3 relays in 8 days. So some of them are prelim semifinals. So it was kind of leading up to that moment. And for me in Athens, I look at it as a stepping stone for me to be able to have the chances that I had later on in my career, right? If everything would have gone perfect there, what's it going to look like 4 years later, right? So those 2 that I didn't win were motivation for me to try to figure out what I can do to compete at the highest level in every single stroke against the best of the best. So yeah, 2004 for me, being able to win my very first, that was something that was so special. As a kid growing up, that was a dream of mine, and being able to start the Olympics with a gold medal, the 400 IM, broke the world record, and then I ended up sharing that medal through a chain-linked fence with my mother. So during these meets, I don't see my parents, I don't see my mom, I don't talk to anybody, I'm in my own world. I have blinders on and I just go. So that moment for me was so special because it took 10 years to get there, 12 years to get that first gold medal. And once that happened, I just basically said, how can I get more, right? How can I train harder and faster to get more?
Now I also know why I didn't make it to the Olympics, because my mom, as a trainer, she never destroyed my goggles or something. So she wasn't teasing me all the time with those kind of things.
But I think the biggest I give my coach a lot of shit because he did that growing up. I thought that was really messed up to step on some kid's goggles. But to be honest, looking back at it, he literally prepared me for every single moment, right? Yeah. And that because when these lights are on and you're standing at the Olympics, World Championships, whatever it might be, how can you be basically you? How can you be your best self, your calm self? The only way for me to do that is preparation, right? Repetition's the highest form of learning. So how can you be calm in that moment? It's practice, period. Whatever, right? Whatever your goal, your mission is, it's every single day. It's taking that little step forward. Like I was saying, 1, 5, 10, 15, 20% out of every single day. Because I'll ask this question. How many people in here feel like $1 million when they get out of bed every single day and they're like, yeah, let me start the day, I'm ready? Anybody? Okay, all right. We maybe have one half hand up there. But that's the point. Every day isn't going to feel great. But the greats do things when they don't want to, right? If you're tired, you're sore, you're this, you're that. I just got off a plane from Chicago 4 hours ago. I'm exhausted. I can't even see straight right now. But I'm also so excited because I have so much that I want to share with you guys. So it's right, it's like those little small things. I'm excited because the mission that I am on right now is going to save a life. So it's exciting stuff. But it's like, I think that's the biggest thing, is how can you get a little bit out of each day? What can you control? Because there is so much, obviously, that in this world that is out of our control from a day-to-day level. So it's like, how can we do our best to control what we can to be our authentic self? So it's the only way we're going to climb.
And how do you balance out mental and physical strength? So obviously, swimming is a sport which requires, a lot of physical strength.
Sure.
And I saw some unbelievable videos on YouTube how you would, exercise and prepare. So just encourage, just type this into YouTube. Michael Phelps, training, exercising, some very cool stuff.
It's crazy. We do a lot of wild stuff.
But I mean, when I now hear you talking, if you would balance it out, is it like 50-50 or is it 80% being mentally prepared and just 20%? So give us a feeling for
I think everybody's different, to be honest. I think talent is only going to take you so far, right? Like, somebody can have the most talent in the world, but if they have zero work ethic, good luck. It's not going to go well for you. Trust me. I've seen it 100 times in practice. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just, you in order to be your best self, you have to look at both sides, right? You have to look at the mental and the physical aspect. Because if you're not, then you're basically cheating yourself. Like me, I always say this because it's true. My kids call me Aquaman. And I always feel like if you can work on your mental and your physical together or equal in our everyday life that we do, that's called self-care. And then we're giving ourselves the best chance to be our authentic self. So for me, that's a mission that I'm trying to do now. Throughout my career, I'll say I was really good at compartmentalizing, stuffing things down. But the backpack that I was carrying got too heavy. So for me, I just opened all that stuff out. So for me, is how can I talk? But how can I talk about the struggles that I'm going through? But then how can I stay physically fit? Those two things are the only way I'm able to be me. And for me, I only saw myself for a long time as a swimmer, not a human being. So now I'm to the point where I can see a person, not just a pair of cap and goggles, staring back at the mirror. So, and that's only because of the work that I've been able to do on myself to get to this point. So yeah, I don't know exactly what the number is, but I'd say it's probably close to 50-50 just because it's like you have to have both and they have to be firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. 2008, Beijing.
Yeah.
You set yourself a nice goal. You've already won some golden medals in the years before, but you wanted to beat the record of 7 golden medals set by Mark Spitz. Everyone called you nuts for setting this goal for yourself, right? And I'm wondering, you're entering this tournament, you win one, you win the second one, you win the third one. How do you keep that focus? I mean, you're winning fucking golden Olympic medals at that point.
By 100th of a second, by 400ths of a second, it's crazy. 8/100ths of a second.
Yeah. So how do you keep that focus till number 8?
So for a long time, I guess from the age of 11 on, I wanted to do something that no one else in the sport had ever done. And it just happened to be try to win 8 gold medals. So in 2008, we had a few years prep for it. And I knew that I had to take one race at a time, even though it's an 8-day meet. I have 8 races. Because so any race over a 200, you swim prelims and finals. 200 and under, you swim prelims, semifinals, and finals. So I'm trying to manage my energy throughout the week while trying to stay on top of eating the right things, making sure I'm eating enough, recovery, ice baths, stretching, massages, whatever it might be. There's literally a routine down to minutes every single session for me.
Can you even enjoy those medals, or was it only about the overall number?
It's hard. I've gone back and enjoyed that moment since retiring. Throughout my career, it was really hard to enjoy anything that was happening because it was always what's next. We're always go, 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 pedal to the floor. So there was no real time for me to sit back and look at everything that we had accomplished. But the biggest thing, like for me, after I'm done the 400 IM, it's behind me. No matter win, lose, DQ, whatever it was, I have to put it behind me. Because if I'm unable to, then that's going to affect the other races that I have that whole entire week. So, yeah, I guess again, it comes back to preparation. If I'm not prepared, it's not going to go well, period. I have no chance. But if I'm prepared, then honestly, I think 2008 for me was like that Matrix moment where everything just slowed down. It was insane. I mean, I can go back and tell you basically everything that I was thinking after the race. There was nothing in my head before the race besides whatever music I had. Yeah, and it was. I mean, that was one of the coolest weeks of my life. You know, definitely my swimming career. To be able to go 8 for 8. I only had 7 world records though. I wanted to go 8, 8, 8, 8. But, it was a good week. It was a fun week.
It's actually a good follow-up question. You know, when
Yeah.
it's actually a good follow-up question. I was always wondering when seeing you, you know, before the race and standing there. So, what music have you been listening to?
It's kind of all over the place. The only music I don't listen to is rock, but it's typically hip hop. There's some country in there. It was a very eclectic mix, but I mean, you'll have like Tiesto, Aoki, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, Eminem, Biggie. Eric Church was a big one, just because he has a song called Record Year, and that was a big one for me. So yeah, it just depends. My earlier days was a lot of Eminem and DMX.
Oh, some fans here.
Someone's creating a Spotify playlist right now, I think.
Honestly, I thought I had my phone. I would have picked up my phone and played a song, but.
And maybe just a quick one, because you know you described, you said that preparation was important. So maybe let's double click on this preparation topic, especially the 6 years before. So, I mean, 7 days a week. I don't know how many hours per day, 3, 4, 5 hours per day.
Yeah,
so how did a regular day look like? And most important question, I think everyone has, how many calories did you eat?
Well, don't believe everything you read on that part.
Wasn't 10,000?
It was 8 to 10,000 a day. There was an article that I think the Daily Mail wrote ages ago that said it was 12,000 calories, and it's not possible. Like, I was struggling enough to get to 10,000 calories, but the reasoning behind me getting to 10,000 calories, or 8 to 10,000 calories, is I'm trying to maintain my weight. So for me, throughout my whole career, my weight was 185 to 195 pounds. Like, we tried our best to get to 200 and could never do it. And then, of course, I retire and I got to 200. But preparation for me, look, like it was Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We would go 7 to 9, 3 to 5 in the water. So 4 hours, 4 days a week. And then Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, we'd have singles. Wednesday would be from 3 to 5. Saturday would be 7 to 9. And then a lift after, or a dry land. And then Sunday, we'd come in at 8 a.m. We get the extra hour of sleep. Thanks, Bob. And we'd come in and just kind of float around. By float around, I mean we would come in and go probably 6,000, probably 4 miles. But it was really just to give us a preparation for the next week. So in the sport of swimming, when you take 1 day off, it takes you 2 days to get back to where you were. So for me, you get 6 days or 6 years in a row, those extra days add up, right? I'm light years ahead of what my competitors are doing. And the reason I did that, because I wanted to have a chance. That's all I tried to do. That's all I tried to set myself up to do. Give myself a chance to do something really special. And the only way you're going to do that is what you're doing behind closed doors, right? For me, it was, what am I doing in the pool? What am I doing in the weight room? Am I recovering enough away from the pool? So for me, I'm not out there hanging out with my friends or doing this or that. I probably took more strokes in the swimming pool than I have steps on this planet, because I was sleeping, right? Like, I literally was sleeping all the time. I was off my feet. I was watching TV, playing video games. I was doing something because I needed all the strength, all the power, all the energy, every single stroke I took because I'm trying to do it as efficiently as I possibly can. So my engagement level has to be there. So it was all those little small things that added up for me to have the chance to do what I did. So, and look, you're not going to see the results fast either. That's the thing that's sometimes tricky, right? I mean, for me, like, I wanted to see myself getting faster. And if I wasn't getting faster, I would ask myself, why the hell am I doing this? Right? Why am I putting myself through this 10,000 for time? You know, like, why? But it's little by little. Look, I mean, I went, what, it was like 3 years, 4 years or something without doing a best time in one of my best events. It was the most frustrating thing in the world. I'd come and I'd be like, 6/10 slower, 5/10 slower, a second slower. But then I thought about it and it was my fault because I wasn't doing the training for the 200 fly that I needed in order to go 151, in order to go 152. So learning experiences for me throughout my career made me kind of recheck myself and make sure I was heading forward and not being lazy. I went through a few years like that.
So you haven't thought about starting a diet consulting business?
No.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, look, like
With all the experience burning that many calories.
So it's funny now because I hate to eat because it was a full-time job. You know, like I eat what I need to now to survive with everything that I'm doing and to continue to build the muscle that I'm doing when I'm working out. But I just don't enjoy it anymore. Most of my life, I basically had my coach or my trainer telling me, you're not eating enough. You need to eat more. You look too skinny. Have a power bar. Have a Carnation Instant Breakfast. And I was fed up with it. I just got so annoyed with it, and I dislike eating now. But I have to give my kids a good example, so it makes things a little difficult.
To those 8 golden medals, you set that goal. There was a big dependency in there, being that 5 of those you had full control over,
Yeah.
individual numbers,
Yeah.
but 3 of those were medleys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
How do you handle that? Were you like personally involved?
Yeah.
In the rest, or?
I mean, for me, relays were something that were special and something I always wanted to be a part of growing up in the sport. It does make it a lot harder, though, because you all have to be on. You can't false start, right? So jumping and like learning how each person swims the race so you can time your jump off the block. Relays were crazy. They were wild. I felt like a little kid on them. I was always the lead-off guy. I liked leading off the 4x2 and the 4x1 because I wanted to get into open water. I always wanted, I wanted to give my teammates, my boys, just as much clear water as they could so they weren't fighting through the wash. Back in 2004, we got caught up in the wash in the 4x1 free relay and just had no shot of coming back. We were in the middle of, I think, South Africa and France. And we got caught up in their turbulent waves and we were just toast. It's literally like I dove into the water and I felt like I was like this. So trying to have your feel and your stroke, it's almost impossible. And then the 4x1 medley, I don't think we've ever lost in Olympic history. So that's a pretty special one for us to have. And we always had pretty much four of the best, like top 2 hundreds in the world. So backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly, and freestyle. I mean, Pearsall or Murph were number 1 or number 2 in the 100 back every year. Our breaststroke was a little weak leg, but they were always top 5. Butterflyers, we were always 1 and 2 or 1 and 3, and freestyle was top 5. So it's like.
What was then like, I mean, of course, they would also very much like to win a golden Olympic medal.
Yeah.
But did you need to, I mean, was it like, okay, you guys work for me now?
No. No, because we all got to do what we got to do just to be us, right? Like, the boys always knew that I was in my own world. My headphones were on, don't talk to me. There are other people that are very laughy, giggly, joking, and that's their way of relaxing. Right? So we all have our different trades, tricks that we need or that we work on in order to give us the chance to be the best self that we can on the block. So yeah, I think that's like, but also like if you look at our relays, I mean, our relays were pretty much the same 4 or 5 guys every single time. So it was like family. I trained with a lot of them, and yeah, the relays are the absolute best. I mean, as a swimmer, I don't know how many relays you.
A lot of them.
Yeah, and it's just fun, right? Like, there's nothing better than doing it as a team. And
More
I think,
fun to enjoy with the team than just...
It's the best. There's nothing better. That's honestly, that's one of the biggest things that I miss the most about being retired. Just the camaraderie we have. It's incredible on that pool deck, feeling the energy. Yeah, it's fun to watch.
Especially because you train together, right? So you also want to win together. And
Yep.
since most of the distances are individual, but you still want to have
Yeah,
that feeling.
and it's true. I mean, you guys have heard it. Teamwork does make the dream work. You know, I heard that 1,000 times growing up as a kid, and it's true. You know, like honestly, I wouldn't have had the chance to do anything I did without the team that I had surrounding me. And my team was the same team throughout my whole life, throughout my whole career. My coach was 20 plus years working together. Find another coach athlete that has that relationship. Doesn't happen. My agent's been the same my whole life. PR, same. Everybody's the same. My team is the same. And we've grown together as a team, and I think that's been the best part.
And speaking about retirement, I think it's a good one. So you left Beijing, you know, what is it, 6 + 8, so 14 gold medals, right, around your neck. And then you decided to retire before you then went on to...
Oh, no, I retired after 12.
Ah, you retired after 12?
After 12, yeah.
Okay.
I went one more, and then I said, I don't want to do this anymore. And honestly, I think, you know, for me, the hardest part coming off of 2008 was just kind of being lost. Because I literally had just done something that no one else had ever done before. I was chasing this my whole entire career. What next? What now?
And what motivated you? So what was...
Nothing, really. The first 2 years, I didn't really train much. You know, back to the point where I went 6 straight years without missing a day. Between 2008 and 2012, there were very few back-to-back weeks that I had consistently. It was no bueno. I was basically kicking the sport away from me. And I felt like I had to compete because I was contractually obligated to. So I kind of just putzed around and didn't really do much the first 2 years. And then the last year and a half going into the Olympics, I decided to fake it as much as I could, I guess. You know, we spent six weeks at Olympic Training Center in Colorado. So I normally only spend 3 weeks there, but you get twice the amount of work done in one day. So might as well try to play hurry up, catch up. And we went through a bunch of training camps there. We were in a good space going into 2012, decent space, as good as we can be. And the very first race, I qualified 8th in the 400 IM after winning the last 2 Olympics. And it was by like 0.2 of a second. Part of me wished I didn't have to swim it again.
But was it a wake-up call for you?
A little bit, yeah. And that race that night, still to this day, is one of my most frustrating races of my life. We swam it differently than we ever had. I wasn't in, obviously, great shape. So yeah, I got the results that I deserved. I got 4th. It's my first time not making a podium in 14 races, you know, since 2000. So we kind of had to regroup and figure out what we were going to do. And again, that race had to go behind me. Yeah, I'm pissed. I got 4th. I didn't get a medal again. But I can't let that affect the rest of the races. So I threw it behind me. We picked up a couple more medals in the relays, and I got touched out in the 200 fly, won the 200 IM. Yeah, this Olympics for me is still one I'm trying to work through, just because it's difficult for me to go back and relive those emotions. Yeah, that was a very, very, very hard 4 years. But I think once I retired in 2012, I knew I just needed space. You know, for me, I never had a break. I never had a vacation at all. And I just needed one. So I basically stiff-armed the sport. Took a couple months off. And I was like, all right, let's do this again. And I think the reason for me coming back was, yes, I had a sour taste in my mouth from getting beat in the 200 fly, literally on the touch. Had I hit any of the 4 walls, I would have won the race. But I was long on my first wall, long on my second wall, long on my third wall. Hey, guess what? Long on my last wall too. So yeah, that was part of the reason why I wanted to jump back up and try to climb the mountain again. I also didn't want to have a what if. You know, what if 20 years down the road, I'm like, damn, I wish I would have just worked, just tried for, you know, those 2 years, right? And, you know, for me being able to come back and finish in 16 like I did, I couldn't ask for anything more. You know, and honestly, that journey going into 16 was one of my favorite journeys ever. Mm-hmm. I felt like a kid again, and it was so cool. I was fully engaged in what I was doing, and that's why I got the results that I got.
Mm-hmm. I was a sprinter when I was swimming.
He's lucky. He is lucky.
Lucky. But I distinctly remember a certain challenge that we did. That was 100 times 100. We did that once a year for a reason, because it was not fun.
What interval? Long course or short course? Short course meters?
Long course.
Oh, good Lord.
But we did it like starting every 120, 130, 110.
Yeah.
Took you 2.5, 3 hours. And basically it took you a year to recover, not physically, but mentally from that ordeal. And then I was watching a video with your coach Bob, and he was also asked about challenges, and he said one of the challenges is 10K on time.
Yeah, 10,000 for time, ready
100 times 100.
But don't stop.
Without any breaks.
Yeah, so you're swimming straight for 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly, which blows my mind, especially as a sprinter.
Can't get a drink, nothing.
No.
Just got to keep on going.
And you know from the outset, this is not going to be fun.
Yeah.
My body is going to be completely depleted of energy after the end. So do you still prepare? Do you still have a plan? I mean, you didn't do it once a year.
Yeah, we didn't do it once a year. We used to do a 5K. We used to have to do 5,000 once a year. And then it got to the point where I was doing 3K for time because I was the old man and my body would not do well with 5K or 10K. But at a very young age, as a kid, I don't remember what, 13, 14, somewhere in there. We did time 10,000. We came in on a Saturday morning, and he was like, time 10K, ready, go. I'm like, oh, thanks. Just get in and go. I mean, it's at that point, it's more of a mental challenge than a physical challenge. Your body's going to get through it, but your mind is going to go through some weird spots through that 2 hours. So, you know, for me, it was just how can I stay steady with my 6-beat kick? How can I hold my stroke as long and as easy as I can? And you just get into a rhythm. For me, like that, on long distance swims like that, it was just easy for me to just find the rhythm, and I just sing a song in my head. Find something
for 2 hours.
Find something to get me through that boring set. But we've done 5,000s, 3Ks, 10,000s, 8,000 IM. We did 5,000 where you go 300 free, 200 butterfly, 3,100s, 50 free, get out and dive a 50 fly on 130. And I had to hold like 32, 31 seconds on the freestyle. And then I was diving 27 seconds for butterfly. By number 20, when you get out, you can't stand. Like literally, I'm holding onto the block, swaying back and forth because my legs are so wobbly. The lactic acid is so high, I feel like I can barely get my arms out of the water. But again, these are all feelings that I'm going to have in the race. So if I can recreate these and practice every single day, I can do it in my sleep when it comes to race time.
Hmm. And you know, I remember back then I was very surprised when you went public with a topic that people are not going public with typically,
Yeah.
especially when I think back then you already have been the greatest athlete, right?
Yeah, I was getting ready for
this
my
was
last
mental health.
Yep.
And I think especially now after Corona and people being locked in, there was more spotlight now. There's more spotlight now on this topic. But for you as one of the greatest athletes ever, to publicly go out and speak about it, and about how you. So what was the motivation for you to go out and speak about it publicly, and how did you get out of this rabbit hole?
Well, to be honest, there was no plan to really open up and to talk about the struggles that I was going through. It just happened naturally. I was actually doing an interview with a guy named Tim Layden from Sports Illustrated for the Olympic preview in 2016. And I'd worked with him for 10, 15 years before that. And still to this day, I don't know the question that he asked me that made me just spill everything out. But ever since that day, I've felt like a different person. Being able, you guys heard me talk about carrying that backpack filled with weights. That I was compartmentalizing. That was my compartmentalization. So for me, at that point, I just let everything out. Because honestly, for me, I am who I am. And if you guys don't like it, it's not my problem. At the end of the day, I got to be my best self. So I went through this process, and prior to that interview, I spent 45 days in a treatment center, just trying to find out different answers about me, who I am, why I work, how I work, and what can I do to get help? How can I get better? So it was one by one. I started unloading this stuff, and a few years go by, and coronavirus is here, right? We are locked down for 2 or 3 years. The unknown, the uncertainty, the thoughts, the emotions, everything that went on during those 2 years, 3 years, really ramped mental health on a bigger platform than I think it's ever been. In my opinion, I think loneliness has struck into people's lives a lot more than it ever has in the past, and it's happening in younger generations. And loneliness leads to depression. So we wonder why the suicide rate is going up. Mental health is going up. The only way that we're going to be able to get through all of this and through it together is talking about it. I guarantee you there are people in this room that are struggling with something. Depression, anxiety, PTSD, whatever it might be. And that's okay, because that's what makes you you. For me, it's like 50-50 every day when I get up. I'm either, I feel great, or I want to climb 6 feet underground. So for me, I have to constantly work on myself and my battles, little small steps at a time. I still have a therapist. I still work out every day. I give myself a chance to be the best me, to be my authentic self. And honestly, for me, when I talk, that's all I want. That's all I ask for each and every one of you. Because all of you deserve happiness. All of you deserve to be you. So for me, I try to get people to open up. And it's not easy for me to talk. Well, it wasn't easy for me to talk about, being suicidal or having these thoughts, these feelings, these emotions. But to be honest, they're who I am. And they make me me. So.
And I want to. And I think you are a great role model, and you're supporting, by opening up, because in a way, the moment of your greatest weakness was the moment of your greatest strength, maybe.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think if you can talk about it, right? If you can open up, if you can seek help, I think this is really making a difference.
I think also like the one thing that was so weird before I opened up, like you see that people are almost unable to open up or can't open up because they'll look at it as a sign of weakness. For me, that's how it was. I'm a competitor. I can't give my competitors any angles, any advantages, 0. So for me, when I did that, I didn't care. Again, because I wanted to work on my mental and my physical health together to be the best me that I can be. I didn't like, and again, it wasn't easy for me to ask for help. That's the one thing I still struggle with, is asking for help. I'm stubborn, really hard-headed, so, but again, I learned that teamwork makes the dream work, literally in every aspect of life. So for me, it's small things. How can I make small improvements? And honestly, I think for all of us, I want all of us to have the best chance to be our best self, period. So see a therapist if you need to see a therapist and haven't seen one. Or talk to somebody. Talk to your friend. Talk to your parents. Talk to your kids. Somebody. The more you carry it on, the harder it's going to come back. And also, the more you talk about it, your employees will then open up and talk about it too. It's that ripple effect.
So just to wrap up on the sports career, so you retired, then you came back for Rio, which was your last Olympics, and then you won how many medals there?
I think 6.
6. So this was then your 28th medal, right?
Yep.
23 of which were gold. And how did it feel? Which medal was the best one? Was it the first or the last one to win?
There's 3 that I think are pretty special. I mean, they all are, but 3 pop into my head. Obviously, number 1, just having that feeling of winning your first, right? All that hard work, all that time, and you finally get the medal on your neck, listening to your national anthem. There's nothing better. 2008, the 100 fly. I mean, you win it by that much, 100th of a second. It's faster than that. It's crazy. I can't understand it. I look at the photo every single day in my office, and it's still crazy to see. And the last one, I would say the 200 IM from Rio. That was my first 4-peat, 4 straight Olympics. I won that event. And that was kind of like my baby, one of my bread and butters. And being able to have our firstborn son there, to see that was something so special. I remember sharing the moment after a medal ceremony. I went up to give everybody a hug and a kiss, my mom, my wife, and Boomer. I'll never forget, Nicole's just like, "Here!" and like throws Boomer at me. And I was like, oh. 'Cause I'm like on a bleacher, there's 100 photographers sitting around me. And I have my 3-month-old sitting there. But it was so cool. But I think like the one thing, like I said earlier, is I'm still working through these, through my Olympics and my medals and everything. I'm in the process of finishing a book right now, so that has helped me start the journey through 2012. And then I feel like 16 will be pretty easy to get through because that was a fun way to end the journey.
Mm-hmm. And so 28 medals that you ended up with, and a fun fact, Michael has more medals than 173 countries competing in the Olympics, just by himself. So.
It's a good run. Had a good run.
And Olympic champions, you obviously cherish the golden ones. But I was wondering, are there also, maybe Olympic or otherwise, are there also some bronze or silver ones? Or maybe like when it was called, we had these pennants that we that we got when we were small and competing. I think that was just for competing.
Yeah.
Any one of those that have special memories, or
for the one more time, like
so any silver, any bronze, any.
No. I mean, I guess maybe one. I'll say one. The 100 fly from Rio was kind of cool because we did a 3-way tie for silver. Never happened. And it happened to be with 2 people that I had spent, one, Laszlo Che, Hungarian. I had swam with him since 2002 or 3. So we literally had spent our whole careers swimming the same exact races, 100, 200 fly, 200, 400 IM. And he was pretty much second or third every time. He never got first. Because either I won or Ryan won. So he was competing against both of us in our races. So I tied with him, and then I tied with Chad Leclos. who in 2012 had touched me out in the 200 fly. So it's kind of cool how everything comes back. And the guy who ended up winning, Joe Schooling, I had met in 2008 at his dad's pool in Singapore going into Beijing. And fast forward 8 years, and he's on top of the podium. It was so cool. That race, that's probably the only silver medal that I'll say wasn't that bad. All the other ones, I don't want to be the first loser or the second loser. So, yeah, I'm hard on myself.
So, after your career and after you then retired and for the second time, right? And was the final retirement.
Yes.
So, some former athletes, they become trainers and coaches. Obviously, you did not want, right?
No, that'll never happen.
So,
Never.
what are you up to now? I mean, you have this Michael Phelps Foundation.
Yeah.
Maybe you can
Sure.
you can tell us about it, because I like how you phrased it. That swimming was what used to define you.
Yeah.
So who is Michael Phelps now and today?
So for me, I started my Michael Phelps Foundation in 2008. I received $1 million bonus from a sponsor and instantly started it. We started with water safety. Water safety is the second highest cause of death for children under the age of 14, and that's behind car crashes. So for me, just me being me, that needed to change, and especially since I have 3 little boys. Over the years since we opened, we then added another component, and it's a mental health component. As we know, mental health in this world is huge. So for me, I wanted to try to get into as many little kids' brains as I could to help them understand their emotions. I think it's the easiest way to say it. So for me, when I was in treatment, we'd go in every single morning and they'd show the 8 basic emotions on the wall. And typically at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm pretty pissed. You just woke me up out of bed and I don't want to be talking about my emotions right now. But I will say, having learned that tool for me has given me the power to then take a step back and understand why the emotions are coming up and why I'm feeling. So for me, I can write it down, I can talk to somebody about it, or I'm just aware. And I want to have that in as many little kids as I possibly can. Because they're the future of our world, right? So for me, I want to save a life. Everything that I'm doing now outside of the pool is way bigger than anything I could ever have fathomed. Being able to save a life is 1,000 times better than ever winning a gold medal. And I know because I didn't want to be alive. So I want to help the people out there who are struggling, but also get the help that they need and deserve. And they might not know what that is. But we have to uncover all of these different ways to get everybody the help that they need, because it's fair and it's right. So for me right now, I'm a dad, I'm a mental health advocate. I was a swimmer, I don't know. But for me, again, this is my life mission. I'm trying to change the world of how it looks at mental health. One day at a time. Again, I struggle almost every single day with some little hiccup here and there. But yeah, just being able to get the help that they need and deserve for me is everything. I don't know where this is going to go. Right now we're in Boys and Girls Club and Special Olympics worldwide. So Boys and Girls Club is an after-school program for kids, underprivileged kids in the U.S. And we're in just over 200 clubs in the last, 8 years, 10 years. And for me, I just learned that there's 5,000 clubs in the U.S. And we're only in 200. So you know what my goal is? To be in every single one of those clubs.
So you just told us there's a book coming out.
Yes.
So what's in it? What's it about?
It's basically me just diving into everything I didn't really dive into throughout my career.
So not swimming pools. Everything else.
Everything. It's anything and everything. It's not as much swimming as the other 2 books were. This is more just about life, the ups and the downs, the journey that I've been through. and yeah, some pretty cool little stories. I don't want to give you too much. I'm finishing reading the manuscript right now, but it's incredible. I mean, this has been something that we've been working on for, gosh, almost 2 years now. And yeah, we're just putting final finishing touches on it. My author is amazing. Her name's Karen Krause, old New York Times reporter, and her style of writing is it's incredible. I can't. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to get ahead of myself and give you guys secrets.
Well, we have 7 minutes left, so let's see if our tech team is spontaneous. Because we did not play the opening video, which I think is maybe worth watching it. Let's play the video now, and then we have some Q&A because Guido was kind enough to ask the public audience, and I also have some funny questions, and we will also do some Q&A. If you guys have some questions to Michael, then you have a minute or so to think about it. Can we have the video now?
Which video?
Not this one. This one is also nice. But I think there's an opening one, a more inspiring one. No?
Maybe.
Maybe?
So I have a question in between then, while the video is hopefully loading. What do you have against breaststroke?
My knees. My knees don't do it. No, honestly, breaststroke and I didn't get along. But I knew that was something I had to have in order to swim a good 400 IM. We tried to break 110.
Necessary evil.
Oh, it's the worst. The 400 IM is the worst. But no, the knees. I don't have the knees for it. I can't get out. So I just had this. I had a good pull. That was all. But no breaststroke for me. Butterfly. You can't. If you're a butterflyer, you're not going to be a good breaststroker. They don't match well.
They don't match. Yeah.
Were you a good butterflyer?
No, breaststroke.
Good. Let's see if we have the video. What? No? Okay, we don't have the video.
No
good.
video,
Then,
guys. Sorry.
Then
go watch the Under Armour commercial.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's one of my favorite spots because it just talks about everything that we have to do in order to give ourselves the best chance to reach our goal, right? Like you guys heard me talking about everything that happens in the dark, right? Everything that happens behind closed doors. Like y'all didn't see anything that I did in the pool to be able to make me in practice, right? So it's what are you doing away from the office, away from wherever you're working, to making sure you're going one step closer to your goal, right? It's just those little things. I can't say that enough. It's greatness is little things done well, stacked up on top of each other. That's it. I mean, for us, it was trying to put a deposit into the bank every single practice. And at the end of that year, at the end of those 4 years, I get to withdraw all that money. And if I was training, good luck to everybody else.
Okay, let's do some quick ones. It's
Never a quick
very
one
bright lights here. I can't
I
see.
talk too much. I talk so much.
Just stand up. If there is any question, you just stand up.
Yeah,
There
go
one
ahead.
question?
Right.
Yes?
Yeah, hop up.
Apologies first if I get you to bad times.
Oh, there's a mic coming.
Getting a microphone.
There you go.
First of all, apologies if it's going to be bad times for the question. Did you feel that 2008 was for other people, that you gave everything that you have, and you felt like there's no more, there's nothing else that could be better than this, or nothing else that you could offer to the world? And then after taking this break and coming back 2016, feeling that now it's for you, it's what you want to do.
Yeah.
This was your feeling, right?
I mean, like in 2008, I can't even, that week happened so fast. But I mean, again, like that was a childhood dream, right? Like literally, my childhood dream was to change the sport of swimming and do something that no one else had ever done before. I didn't know what that would look like. I didn't know what that would look like from the outside or the inside, how I was going to feel, how I was going to react, anything. So for me, I think every Olympics was a learning experience, right? I got to learn more about who I am as a person. I probably wasn't paying attention to it much, but I think I learned a lot just from each moment. And then I mean, again, yeah, 16. Yeah, I guess it was just for me because it was inside my heart again, right? Like that passion was there, that fire was there, and from '08 to 2012, it wasn't. I was just faking it, and I wasn't even close to getting the results that I wanted. So let it be a lesson. Don't fake it. Do not fake it.
Maybe I have a quick one in between. In a couple of weeks, we will have a similar event in the US, in Nashville. And Tony Hawk will be with us on stage. And obviously, you know, after he retires, and you could also argue that he was a great athlete, you know, he went into video games a little bit. So was there ever, you know, any thinking on your end to...
We had one.
Oh, you have one?
We had a video game. I think it's still out. It's not your typical video game. I mean, when you play swimming games, you're not sitting there. You're not hitting like A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. You know, like you're actually working. So you were actually taking strokes on the Wii, and it was really fun. It's just like playing tennis on the Wii. So yeah, I haven't played it in a long time. Maybe I'll whip it back out for my kids. But it's fun. Like honestly, these things that I've been able to experience through my life are all dreams come true. They're all a dream come true. You know, you ask me as an 11-year-old kid if I would have a video game, I would win X number of medals or break with this many world records. I would say, yeah, my dream. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I lived a dream come true, and it was really cool. It was really fun.
I think there was a yes.
I know you said that you don't listen to classic rock, but there was one famous rocker. He wrote a song for his younger self called "Wish You Were Here."
Yeah.
So if Michael was to sing a song to his younger self, what would you sing?
That's a really good question.
It is a sophisticated audience here.
That is a really good question. I think it's "Sky's the Limit." I mean, I guess like that's one song I always looked at. It was a Biggie song, Notorious B.I.G. and "The Sky Is the Limit," just because. I mean, in the song, like I believe that. You know, the things that I was doing, the sky was the limit. You know, no matter what my competitors or newspapers or this and that said about the things that I was trying to accomplish, right? Like, so, yeah, I would say the sky is the limit, Biggie.
I think we can do one last question.
Hi, Michael. It's not really a question, but it's more of a statement, actually. And it's a thank you and a statement. And talking of your resilience, your tenacity, your brilliance as a sports person, I wonder now if what your business is about, I feel quite emotional and inspired. I wonder if what your business is about is at the moment, it's about love.
You know, so I can say I think during the pandemic, I look at it as a blessing because I was forced for the first time in my life to slow time down. I was always competing against time, hundredths of a second. How can I get faster? And now it's about the moments and the memories that I have. So for me, the pandemic forced me to slow it down and pay attention to the things that mattered most. And that's my family. I have 3 kids under the age of 6, an amazing wife, and those people are who make me the best version of myself every single day. I didn't grow up with a father. I can probably count on one hand the times that I saw him over 20 years, 25 years. So for me, yes, I would say it probably is, because I'm learning to, I guess, forgive myself, to love myself, and to love others. I think throughout my career, the only way I was able to do what I did was be really selfish. And there was no other way for me to do it. And now, I'm a dad. Now I'm gonna get emotional. But it's the best feeling in the world. Like, honestly, like, my boy, like, I gave Boomer this little heart rock that my wife gave me. So we travel with stones and gems. And And I gave it to Boomer before I left, and I said, dude, can you watch this for me? And I got a story yesterday of he's had it in his pocket every single day. He went swimming. He put it in his pocket inside of his swimming suit. Has not left his side. So yes, love, 100%. And I think it's really back to the statement I said before, right? Like I looked at myself as an athlete or a swimmer, not a human. And now I'm understanding to love who I am and love everything about me, the good, the bad, the ugly, because it is who I am.
Yeah. And, I think this is, so first of all, we are all very thankful for you sharing the story, because I think over the last 60 minutes, we got to know you not just as an exceptional athlete, but as an exceptional human being.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for sharing your journey and your lessons in such an open way. This really means a lot to us. And so you guys stay here. Let me first of all, who remembers my keynote? And I said that there will be 2 words that I want you to remember, and then this one person can join the meet and greet that we will have with Michael afterwards. Is there any person who thinks, no Sprykies, please, no Sprykies. So, yeah, this gentleman here. Are you from Spryker? No. Okay, please stand up. So the 2 most important words that you learned today at the Spryker Excite is what?
So transactional and sophisticated.
Yes. Very good. Very good, very good, very good. So let me do some housekeeping first. So right after this presentation and chat that we have, we will have, for the people who won the meet and greet, including you, and Lior, of course, who also asked for it, and Tom, because we have the world champion for apnea diving with us.
Oh,
so you can talk to him about, the diving stuff, and the 27 seconds you stood on the water is nothing to him. So Tom will also join us, I promise.
He's different. That's a different world. That's a different world than I do.
So the meet and greet will happen in 15 minutes or 10 minutes from now on in Cinema 8. Good. Then there is the partner Q&A for the solution and technology partners, the exclusive meet and greet with the leadership team, which happens in 15 minutes from now in Cinema 7. And for the rest of you, I can't see the sun from here. I hope it's sunny and I hope it's dry. So the beach will be open here in the middle of center of Berlin. It's open, so we will have the amazing JCB band joining us, opening it, and then at 10 p.m. we will continue inside. So you guys are all invited for the dinner and the barbecue outside. Thank you very much to all our sponsors and partners who supported us today, who supported us with in the exhibition space, who supported us with presentations, help prepare the content, put together the pre-events. Thank you to all attendees for spending the entire day with us. This really means a lot to us. There is nothing valuable as time, and we are very thankful and truly appreciate it. We hope you will have some fun. We hope you enjoyed the best Excite ever, and see you tonight. Thank you.
That was Excite 2022, at least the official part. We'll now say goodbye to all our virtual attendees and invite everyone who is with us here in Berlin for a delicious beach barbecue right in front of the Soda Club and some smooth dance moves afterwards, as we'll have a very cool band with us. So, let the party commence!